Buon pomeriggio. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paige Doherty, and I'm a sophomore here at UMass Amherst. I have a double major in Italian Studies and Hospitality and Tourism Management. I'm conversational Italian right now, but I hope to be close to fluent by next summer after I study abroad again. This past summer, I was in Rome for 5 weeks, and I had a unique experience learning the language. My program was focused on food and culture, so I took language classes through Scuola Leonardo da Vinci, which is a fantastic language school. I got to practice my language skills every time my flatmates and I took a cab or went to dinner, or needed directions somewhere. I was the translator of the group, and that ended up being really important to me. Because my program was for students less familiar with the language, and I have previously studied it in high school, I was placed in a one-on-one, which was amazing, but to my benefit and my disadvantage, my teacher spoke very little English. I was able to practice my speaking and writing with my teacher at least 3 times a week, maybe 4. I sat with my teacher for at least an hour each class, and we just talked about everything. We talked about history, we talked about our days, we covered the most random subjects that sometimes ended in one of us drawing on the whiteboard because the other couldn't understand what one of us was saying. Fun fact, the Italian word for moose is l'alce. In high school, one of my teachers told my class that the best way to learn a language is to drop yourself in that country. So that's what I did. I was worried about going abroad as a freshman and being in another country for a long time. All of my roommates were American, and 5 weeks ended up feeling like a short time, so I didn't really experience a culture shock. I think one of my favorite experiences with the language was the first week I was in Rome. I went out to dinner with some of my flatmates, and we sat next to this elderly couple who just started talking to us. And they were so cute. I tried to have a full conversation with them, but I couldn't really hear them over the rest of the restaurant. I could tell they appreciated me trying to communicate with them, and I wish I had been able to talk to them more, especially at the end of my program when my speaking skills were much better and I was more confident. Another experience that was a close second was when some of my flatmates and I went to Tuscany for a wine tasting, a spa day, and a tour of Cortona. We all went our separate ways to shop and wander. I found myself in a jewelry store with Etruscan writings on bracelets, necklaces, and more. I started talking to the woman working there, and we had a really lovely conversation about the Etruscan language and history, where she's from, where I'm from, and all of it was in Italian. Towards the end, she said in English that I spoke Italian well, and I asked her to keep speaking Italian to help me practice. Of course, I bought a bracelet because I was fascinated by the ancients, and I really enjoyed talking to this woman, who again appreciated me making the effort to speak Italian. One of the biggest challenges I've had has been understanding accents and dialects. Native speakers speak very quickly, and I can't keep up with them. Plus, they aren't used to needing to speak relatively properly instead of the more common slang they use with their friends and family. Depending on where they or their family are from, I will have more trouble understanding them. Northern Italians have French, German, and Spanish influences, so the regional dialect will be a mix of those languages and Italian. Central Italy is generally the easiest for Italian students to understand, so I lucked out being in Rome. Southern Italy is hit or miss. Naples and anywhere south of it might not even speak what we would call Italian. They have a language of their own. I still have a lot of trouble understanding a native speaker, but I'm getting there. People always ask me if I want to work in a hotel in Italy, but I don't think that's what my overall goal is as a hospitality major. I'm learning Italian because it's important to me to speak something other than English. I'm also starting to learn Arabic from a friend from Kuwait, and I have a background with Latin, ancient Greek, and modern Greek, and Spanish. You can learn a lot about a culture just from the language. And while I do see myself in Italy in the future, it might not be just for work. I am interested in learning other languages to provide the most hospitable experience tourists from anywhere can have. Thank you.